Welcome back, everybody, once again to Goonies World. I am Meanie, also known as Ryan, and joining me, Johnny Farrow, also known as Sean.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? It's good to be back.
And, of course, Goonie, also known as Colin.
Oh, hello.
And we are jumping right back into the mysterious world of Quest.
Quest.
Where Numinous and Sir Han are on their way to a mysterious tower. But they have been intercepted by a giant eagle, which is currently standing on the ground in front of you with its wings at its sides. I mean, it's not, and it doesn't look like it's making any immediate sort of threats or anything, but it does look like it's definitely trying to block your path and may resort to violence if you attempt to go any further. It does not look as though it can speak, but in fact it does, as you're standing there, open its beak and make, an eagle screech, possibly some kind of warning to you.
And I make a girlish screech and hide behind Sir Handaran when it does that.
And it closes its mouth and begins sort of preening some of its feathers on its left wing.
It appears this eagle is maybe some sort of guardian for, further, our way further. I don't know if there's a way around or not.
See if you can talk to it. Maybe you can reason with it or scare it. You're pretty scary. Maybe you can scare it.
It'd be easier to scare it if it was a human that had been doing evil things. I'm not used to fighting all these animals and creatures, but perhaps it is intelligent enough to speak.
Hello?
And the bird sort of stops preening its feathers and cocks its head and looks at you quizzically, in that way that birds sometimes do, which seems to suggest that, it's cognizant of the fact that you're making noise, but it doesn't
register.
It doesn't, ascribe any meaning to the noises.
I don't think he speaks our language. But I know a language that we all speak, and that is the language of violence, of course.
Wait, before you start swinging that blade around, maybe I can distract it and we can run past it. What do you think? You want to give it a try? Unless it perfectly understands everything we're saying right now.
And I should mention, since it's, it's been like a week since we recorded. I mentioned this last time, but these details may have, escaped your mind. There are really not very many noticeable features or notable features about this bird, other than its great size, of course. And two other things. One, it's kind of weathered and scarred in places about its face and body. It's missing some feathers and due to apparent injury at some point in the past. And also, there is a golden amulet tied around its neck.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know of an amulet that we were given, remember, to communicate with Fiona.
Yeah, we have our communication. Is it the same as our amulet? I thought ours was more like a jewel, yeah.
Well, I just remember it was called an amulet. Yeah. But I just remembered, we could possibly ask her for assistance.
We could. Oh, mighty bird, do you understand our human speech?
And once again, the bird sort of cocks his head and looks at you.
Okay.
Bird brain.
Let's try the distraction and run past it plan. I have a feeling there's some clue in this amulet, but I don't know what it is. But maybe my plan could have distracted my work, and if it doesn't, we could try something else. But if everyone is agreeable, I'm gonna spend 0 AP to scintillate and make a harmless firework that explodes in the air, creating this pattern of shape and color that is vaguely bird-like and beautiful, like a beautiful bird of the opposite gender, and boosh, and make it like fly around and see if the bird chases after it or if it's at all distracted. If it doesn't work, that's fine, because 0 AP.
Well, why don't you roll a dice?
I will roll a dice, and I have a 17, which is a success.
So, yes, the bird does... its eyes are taken off of you, and it's now sort of looking at this display of fireworks. So, you probably have a couple seconds to try something?
Run! And I'm going to try to run around past it.
Yeah, I'll run.
Well, you guys run, and that sort of overrides the distraction a little bit, because, you know, you're making footsteps and whatnot. And so, just as you're getting past, about halfway past this bird, it screeches once again and reaches out with one of its large, clawed, thorny-looking feet and takes 2 quick swipes in your direction at each of you.
No. It does understand the language of violence. You were right.
Oh, yes.
And I threw my dice on the floor because my cat just got in my lap.
Damn you.
Damn lap cats.
Need to add some, like, dice rolling, like, elevator type music or
right,
Jeopardy type music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really need to get a bigger table to play on. My dice just go flying everywhere. All right. Well, the first swipe at Numinous misses completely. And in fact, well, I don't know if he has the ability to counterattack, but this causes, in fact, this causes the bird to sort of stumble and not be able to take the second attack it was going to make against Sirhan.
Yeah, and for the record, I don't have any inborn ability to counterattack. I mean, I have weapons, but I don't have, like, a counterattack special ability.
Yeah, I think the fighter gets that.
Yeah.
All right, so, well, you are now basically in combat with this thing, which you've kind of initiated by attempting to sneak around it. Although whether you want to attack it or run back to where you were before and see if it stops trying to kill you, that's up to you.
Let us cower. Perhaps we should just cower in place. You don't look like a cowerer, though, Han.
I am not, but I think until we formalize a plan, maybe we ought to raise our hands up as if we mean no threat and back up slowly to the position we were in before it attacked us.
Before he's done with the sentence, I throw my hands and go, I surrender! I surrender! But I'll let myself be led back.
Well, the bird recovers from its little misfortune where it sort of tripped a little in trying to swat at Numinous. And it sees that you are retreating back to your previous position and makes another screech, high-pitched screech, almost as though it were saying, "Yeah, that's right."
Yes, it was just a misunderstanding. And now, do you have any other tricks or something?
Yeah, I have this trick right here, and I'll get our amulet that Fiona gave us. And I'll say, "Oh, Fiona, advise us in our time of need. There's a scary bird that will not let us pass. Calling Fiona. Numinous Glog's calling Fiona."
And I'm blanking on what my Fiona voice was, but so if anybody just recently listened a few minutes ago to the first episode,
I think it was a lot like your far end voice.
Yeah, it was foreign, basically.
Well, I'm not sure what Farin's voice even. It's been so long since I've done a Farin, but
that's close.
That's it, I think.
Close enough, I suppose.
Girl British. There you go.
Yes, well, girlish anyway. I'm trying to think of what she would say. Yes, at what point are you, adventurers?
We're at the scary bird. We've reached the tower of the Trickster, and the bird will not let us pass. And we don't wish to commit violence, but Sir Handaram may swing out with his sword at any moment. And I am readying several quips just in case. Can you advise us?
Well, I can tell you that this is the Golden Guardian. And she is not there by choice.
I see.
Does it have something to do with the golden amulet around her neck?
Well, I wouldn't want to give too much detail, would I?
Han, you should try to take the amulet away from her.
Yes, I believe if we can get that amulet from this bird, is it a she or they? Or
just
one
be
of
on
the
the
others.
safe.
Uses feminine pronouns.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
we learned our lesson in the forest. Yeah.
Yes, and if we could get that away from her, she might be free, and she will just go about her business, not interfere with us anymore. But we have to get that amulet.
Do you want to try to wrestle her and grab it off, or should I whip it off?
Well, maybe is there any other distractions you have?
I
could
could
cause one.
I could scintillate all day. I'm a very scintillating individual, but
Yes, and I could try to sneak up and yank it off.
okay. Hey, I know I can make a little bird. I mean, it's really not the purpose. The purpose of the bird is I can, you can keep watch on an area for me, but I'm sure a little bird might distract. Maybe this big bird is hungry, huh? So I'm going to spend 1 AP, and I'm down to 8 now, and I'm going to create my little bird. And I'm picturing it like a little Tweety bird, like a full-on Warner Brothers, Toa Putty Tat Tweety bird. They'll pop into the air and fly around the bird's head and see if my little Tweety bird can distract her a little bit, so Han can get the amulet off.
All right. Well, make a roll.
Yeah, hopefully I can at least do some distracting. Well, I have a 12, which I believe is in ambiguous territory, although I don't have the chart in front of me this time.
Well, no, a 12 is a
choice.
success.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah, it is. Never. I was looking at the wrong.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty forgiving, isn't it? Like 11 and up is a success.
11 to
So-
19, and then
Okay, yeah.
20, obviously is a triumph.
11. Yeah. So I mean, it's like basically 50-50. So it's pretty good. But yes, so that you do succeed, and so your little Tweety bird, is flittering around this eagle's head, and it's kind of distracted by it and kind of snapping at it. Seems to be annoyed by it more than anything. What happens to your little bird should it be hit by this much larger bird?
Well, nothing, because it's an illusory bird. Probably what will happen is the big bird will notice that it's not real, so we've only got a limited window.
All right, well, I'm going to give it a roll, and the bird rolls a 6, which is not a complete failure, but not good for the birds. So, for the Golden Guardian, as you've learned from Fiona. So, I would say, Sirhan, I don't know what you said. I think you said your plan was to like try to sneak up on it.
Yeah, but now I'm realizing that before I could do that, before I get close and risk getting killed, I should heal myself, because I only have half of my hit points. So I am going to use for 2 points petition, and I have to recite a little petition, which goes, O Skylar, hear my petition, and giveth me thy strength, for thou art supreme, and I am thine vessel. And then I am healed for all HP.
Nice.
But if that's his action, and if I have time to do something else, I will, while the bird is still distracted, but maybe I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, then I'm going to say, hey, you know what happens to an illegally parked frog? It gets towed. And then I'm going to use the Quiplasher and try to not hit the bird, but, whip the amulet off its neck. Like loop around the amulet and yank it off its head. And so we'll see how I do with that. And I have a 19. It's not a triumph. It's not a triumph, but it's pretty good.
Well, that's about as close to a triumph as you can get without
being a triumph.
Actually being a triumph.
Yeah.
And so, I think without question, you managed to whip that thing and whip it good. And without managing to avoid damaging the bird at all, and therefore possibly, pissing it off and sparking a combat or something, the amulet just falls off. You kind of break, the little ribbon that's holding it onto this bird's neck, and it falls to the ground. And the bird kind of is distracted by this, more than your Tweety bird for a moment, anyway. And it looks around, and then looks over at you.
He's confused. You're free. You're free, bird. You're free bird.
Well, so you may remember that I mentioned in the last session that the bird seemed to have this sort of air of sadness about it.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to have been lifted, and the bird looks over at you, Numinous, as though it's trying to say thank you.
I'll bow to the bird.
And the great beast does indeed leap into the air, and with a loud whacking of wings, fly off. It flies high, because it is a free bird.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I will dismiss my little illusory bird, because it can't just fly around with us. I've got to leave. What that bird is really for is to guard a place, but
it's not a free bird.
It's not a free bird. No, it's a jailbird. No. But we have. All right. Well, now there's nothing before us except the tower of the Trickster.
Yes, and should we pick up this golden amulet? Of course, we should not put it on, but if your idea is to get, wealth, and so you can build your own place, you might be able to sell this thing to some, trader or something.
Yes, we should collect the amulet carefully, and I'll put it in my little bag. My guy has a hip, he calls things as little hip bags on a belt. That's what I decided.
Like a fanny pack?
Yeah, fanny pack. That's what I mean. Yeah, I got a little fanny pack. I put it in my fanny pack, if it's possible to pick it up and collect it.
Well, and I didn't make this explicit, but so you can, but when it fell off the neck, it was kind of being pulled back a bit by the the quips momentum, and not only that, the bird's fucking tall, but when it hit the ground, it kind of shattered into a few pieces. Now you can gather the pieces up if we'll take them with you if you want, but
that'll make me feel petty.
In terms of not wanting to put it on, there's really no putting it on unless you glue it back together first.
I think I'll rely on the treasure that we will find elsewhere. We will let this treasure sprout little golden trees, maybe.
Well, very well. Let's hope we do find some treasure.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of being on this quest.
Well, your point. I do want to see you find the treasure, but yeah. As you know, I am been trying to teach you some lessons along the way.
You can, and I know you're also trying to exonerate yourself for all the terrible war crimes that you've committed and atrocities that you've perpetrated.
Yes, that is true as well. I look upon your whip sometimes and think maybe I ought to use that on myself. I feel very guilty. I think that would...
You can't use it on yourself because it only works if you make a quip and you're not funny.
And I have none. That is true as well.
Okay, well, should we approach the tower of the Trickster?
I believe this is our destiny. So we shall approach.
Well, you approach the tower, and you come to two large blue doors at the base of the tower. This is a very shiny stone tower. It's like the stone has been polished, and it reaches high into the clouds. There are, each door has a large metal handle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should each grab a handle.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, you each grab a handle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You each grab a handle, and as soon as you touch it, your hands are shocked. Not enough to do any damage, but you get the feeling this is probably, well, it's just the trickster being the trickster, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think that's funny, do you?
Oh, he thinks it's very funny, I'm sure. So you open the doors, and are immediately exposed to another trick, because instead of what you would expect the inside of a tower to look like, you find yourselves standing on the stage of a giant auditorium, and all the people from Treasure Town are in the audience, and they begin applauding as you walk in the door. And you see Fiona sitting in the front row, and she's got her little book that she had, and as you walk in, she begins taking some notes, it looks like. And I have to assume that this bizarre sort of spectacle is sort of confounding and confusing, at least for a moment, in your minds as you walk out onto this stage. And you note that the doors close behind you automatically. And you notice that there is a colorful, what looks like a child's toy chest on the floor of the stage. And after the doors close, you look behind you, and the doors are gone. They've just disappeared.
Huh.
And in their place, the stage just extends for as far as you can see into darkness. And then a voice enters your minds and says, "Welcome, honored guests. Can we get some more applause from the audience?" And of course, they begin clapping again. Congratulations on making it this far. Very few people do. The final challenge is in the box in front of you. Open it up for a surprise.
Well, you would like that, would you?
Why don't you be the one to open it, Han?
Well, I am not afraid. As you said, we've come this far, and you want a show? I am not afraid to give you all a show. Whatever.
I am. I've got stage fright too. That's the other kind of fear I have.
That is not good for a magician to have. You've got to learn how to be a showman. And I'll show you something. I'll open this box right up, and I am not afraid at all.
All right, so Sirhan walks over to the box, leans down, and begins to open it. And Sirhan, as you touch the box, what was your most cherished toy that you had when you were a child?
I did not have toys, but I suppose I had a tool. I was quite fond of a hammer.
All right. Well, that's
Bang things around. It was sort of what I did to pass the time as a child.
No, hammer and tacks. That's in the Christmas song, "Ho Ho Ho." Who would go? They mention that as being a toy that a kid gets, a little hammer and tacks. So that works.
Yeah, I mean it could be a toy. Mine was a real hammer used for bludgeoning, but.
all right. Well, so you open the toy box, and it's empty. And you hear the sound of footsteps from behind you, both.
A gulp.
Who's there?
Well, you turn around, and you see a giant, apparently stone golem, carrying an even more ridiculously giant hammer that looks exactly like the one from your childhood, except much, much larger. And it looks like it's going to attack.
Where did you get that? That's mine.
But he put it in the embiggener.
You shall relinquish that hammer and give it back to me. Oh, I've missed it.
Relinquished into your skull.
But it looks like it's going to come smash us with the hammer.
Yes, that is its intent.
Uh-oh. Well, we should attack it then. And fine, if these people want a show, I'll give them a show. And I'll say, how does the man in the moon get his hair cut? Eclipse it. And then I'll quiplash the giant stone golem, and I roll a 14 for success.
All right. Well, that and that does how much?
3
points of damage. All right.
Yes.
Very well. So the stone golem takes 3 points of damage, and what would Sirhan like to do?
I will go ahead and use my Fiery Avenger once again for 1 point. So I have to say, Skylar be praised with this phrase, set my blade ablaze. And the blue flame comes on again. And I don't know if that takes up one turn or not, or if I can still attack.
Well, that costs action points, right?
Yeah.
So that's a counts as your action. So that does 1 point. So he's had 4 points.
No, I mean, that's 1 point that...
Oh, you spent. So how much damage does it do?
Oh, well, that's what I was wondering if I because I just activated. I didn't know if I could actually swing,
Gotcha. No, but you will be able to next turn, so that's 3 damage then. Okay, very good. And the toy, or the golem wielding the toy, anyway, sees that you have this enhanced weapon, Sirhan, and he's going to swing your childhood hammer at you and roll a 4, which is not great for him. He slips and falls onto the stage and is going to have to spend his next turn standing up again.
Oh, great.
And the crowd at this point, the audience, begins laughing and clapping and thinks this is quite fun.
Good. Yes, I was going to suggest they clap at that.
Yeah, and I'm starting to warm to the crowd now once I hear the applause and everything. And
They love you.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, did you guys hear about the shepherd who drove his sheep through the village? Yeah, you got a ticket for making a U-turn. And then I'll whip the stone golem with my quipplasher. Oh, but I get a 3.
Ooh, that is not good. However, this thing cannot counterattack. Well, and it's on the ground anyway. So I think you've likely winged your quipplasher across the stage and are going to have to retrieve it.
Oh,
You got cocky.
that's going to be some crowd reaction I don't like.
Well, they did laugh at your quip, and then when you threw your quipplasher, there's kind of like a gasp, like
Get it with their blue flaming Avenger.
I'm going to get me some of this golem. And I will swing now with my Avenger. And I rolled a 19.
oh,
For
so
3
close to a
damage.
20. So close to a 20. Well, the golem wielding your childhood hammer, or the giant version of it, spends his turn standing up. And that makes it your turn again.
And I'm going to say, what do you call a blonde with half a brain? Gifted. And then I'll... This time I get a 9, though. Oh, wait, I can't do that. I don't have it. I threw it.
No.
So I'm going to, run around then and get my... I'm going to tell the joke anyway, just for the crowd's benefit.
Well, and
yeah.
presumably telling the joke will... it's been a while since I read the thing, but it will make it usable when you do pick it up. So.
Let's say that, yeah. It's not a very good joke, though. I apologize to our blonde listeners.
Yeah, that is kind of a bad one, but
It's
the quipplasher doesn't care. It's as long as it's a quip.
No. You should have heard the ones I censored, folks.
And Sirhan.
Okay, well, I will strike you again if you didn't learn from the last time. Well, here we go. I rolled a 1.
Oh.
Catastrophe.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I think... Man, I don't even know if I can think of something bad enough. But I think the easiest thing to say is that you somehow... in your overly aggressive attempt to swing at this golem, you overreach and somehow manage to hit yourself with your sword and deal your normal damage to yourself.
Ouch.
All right. So, but that leaves me with an interesting question, because once I fail, the effect, the plus that I was getting, it goes away. So once I miss, that's gone. So when I hit myself, do I take normal damage, or would it still be the extra point?
You need to hire a rules lawyer, and I happen to know of one.
I think Ryan is distracted.
Ryan's rules lawyer.
Well, I was just going to look it up. What's that one called?
It's called Fiery Avenger. But I
Blazing
already...
Avenger?
What?
Blazing Avenger?
No, Fiery.
Oh, so it's the less good Blazing Avenger, I'm guessing. So let me see if I can find Fire. Or maybe. Well, that's because you're the.
It just says.
Oh no, it's okay. Gotcha. I see it.
My guess is it's going to be ambiguous.
Yeah, I mean it just says.
It's not very ambiguous. It says the flame persists until you roll a failure or worse on an attack with the weapon.
Yeah.
And you did.
So does that? So when I hit myself, my question was whether, since it's gone now, I should take the
2. Yeah.
2 damage. Okay, good. I gotta keep as many hit points as I can. So
Yeah, the failure happened first, so it went like as you're swinging at yourself, the fire goes out and you hit yourself for 2.
okay, that's not so bad.
But then the golem swings its hammer at you. But he only rolls an 8. So that is a success, but there's a cost. So you were going to take 4 damage. But I guess this golem is just a
Klutz.
Just a complete klutz, and he falls over again, and it's going to have to spend his next turn getting off the ground again. I'm just not feeling very creative with these consequences right at the moment.
Well,
I've been staring at code all day. It's made my brain mush.
Never game with IT guys. Because no IT guys are gamers. I don't know if you knew that. Very few people in the IT community are gamers. Now, I've already made a quip, with my offensive blonde joke, so I'm going to go ahead and activate. I want to whip, and I got an 18 this time.
All right, well, that is a much better result, and is going to deal
3 more.
3 more. All right. And, Sirhan.
Let's try this again. Oh wait, I don't want to spin it. I'll just attack without making it fiery. And I rolled an 11, so that does succeed.
Yep.
So
it does
2 points
indeed.
of damage.
Very good. And once again, the clumsy golem rises to his feet. And it's your turn again.
And I'm going to say, a Freudian slip is when you say one thing but mean your mother. And then I'll...
Jesus Christ.
And well, I get a 15 this time. Yay.
So 3 more.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Sirhan.
I'll attack again. And I failed. 2.
Well, So I think you've either fumbled your sword or fallen on the ground. Either way, I think you're going to have to spend your next turn either getting your weapon back or getting on your feet.
Okay.
Whichever you prefer.
What is the flavor of embarrassment you prefer?
Right.
I think he will just fling a sword rather than fall on his ass in front of the crowd.
That is probably less embarrassing.
Yeah, he'll have to retrieve his sword next turn.
All right. Well, with you off Well, no, because you haven't actually left yet. So, but he's attacked Sirhan several times, so he's going to roll an 8. I don't think that. No. So, Numinous, he does hit you, but once again, must make a tough choice. And so you are going to take 4 points of damage.
Ouch.
But he's going to fling this giant hammer. But he's bigger and stronger than both of you. And, of course, the hammer's bigger. And he's also facing the audience. So he flings it out into the audience, who scatter, and it crashes into the seats.
That's mine. Don't touch it.
And now this thing is disarmed.
And I'm going to say, hey, you big dumb golem, what do you call a bear with no teeth? And I'll look at the crowd expectantly. Say it with me, folks. A gummy bear! And, quiplash him again. And I got a 12. And then I'm going to, like, back wave the hell up away from it because I have 2 health left. If we beat this guy, we need to regroup. But we'll worry about that later. So I do my 3 and then hopefully back up, to where he'll attack Han instead of me.
All right. Well, I think he's probably going to. Well, and so you look out at the crowd as you make your quip, and they're like sort of still panicking because they've all had to vacate the area from where the hammer was thrown. Now, away from the hammer, nobody's really. They're kind of looking over at the hammer. They're all surprised at what's going on. But anyway, Sirhan, I'm assuming you're going to retrieve your weapon.
Yeah. I'm going to say, don't touch MC. That's its name. And just does the hammer, actually, does the whip, does that count as a quip? It did. Fine. There's no quip. It just hangs limply.
Well, I think the wielder of the quiplasher
has to be the one.
Has to be the one that makes the actual quip.
I told you weren't funny.
Damn it! I know. I shouldn't have ever tried.
Well,
yeah, I will retrieve my sword now.
You retrieve your sword, and the golem stomps out into the audience and retrieves the giant hammer, which further sort of terrifies the audience. But he turns back around and looks like he's going to come back to the stage. And he's, close enough that you can get, he's nearby. You can, get there and attack him off, from off the stage if you want to leap off the stage and get some more hits in down there while everyone evacuates.
I am going to cast Shield for 1 point because I am getting a little bit low in hit points. So now I can block 3. That's my turn.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, hey, what's a fish say when he hits a wall? Damn! And I will leap off the stage. Two hit points left, be damned. I'm going to leap off and yell that joke and quiplash him with my mighty quip. And this time I got a 12 again. Double 12s.
All right, well, and with that final lashing from the Quiplasher, the mighty stone golem collapses into what was formerly the audience, who have now mostly left.
Good job, Numi.
Thanks, but I tell you, we really cleared the room. We need to work on our stage presentation.
Yes, I wasted this damn shield for nothing. Cost a point. Oh well. Now what has become of my hammer, I wonder? Is the hammer still there, or does that disappear?
The hammer is still there. I mean, it's
bigger than you, dude.
Yeah, it's the size of you. I don't know that you would. Well, not quite that big, but it's much larger than the one you had when you were a child.
I just want to have some time with it, just to remember the good old days. This nostalgia. I really banged some things with this.
You go over and begins having some, meaningful time with your hammer. And Fiona stands up. Now, this entire time, from the hammer flinging to the golem charging out there, she has just been sitting in her seat taking notes. She did not, as the rest of the audience did, panic and freak out or anything. But she stands up and turns around and transforms into this sort of wild-haired, jester-looking person.
You are the Trickster?
And he begins clapping. He says, "Congratulations." Oh, yes. Well, if there were any audience left, I would have them clapping and cheering for your great success. And the couple that are still, hanging out or haven't made it out the door are, and dutifully begin clapping and sort of half-heartedly cheering as they head to the exits.
Well, I gotta admit, Fiona, that was some good trick. I really thought you were a beautiful lady.
Well, many things are not as they seem here in the realm of the Trickster.
Tell me about it.
Well, I must honor my agreements. You have defeated my challenge.
Yes, we have. And you are bound to let us keep our treasures that we picked out from the museum. I assume Billy is around here somewhere. Billy?
Yes.
Get out here.
Back.
Did Billy fall into the crevasse? I don't remember.
No.
Oh, okay.
I rode him over, but I landed my scrotum on his spine.
That's right.
Yeah, I got
Still
fine
hurts
racked.
very badly.
Well, yes, I assume then that Billy has been sitting around watching all of this then. And the Trickster says,
Yes, of course. It looks like your name is Numinous, yes?
Yes.
You have the Quipplasher, and what did you pick out, Sir Han?
I chose this goat, Billy.
Billy. Oh, marvelous. Well,
he says, and he begins spinning a finger in a sort of a circle, and this portal generates and just appears, and he kind of motions towards it and says,
well, you are free to go at any time.
How do we know this isn't one final trick?
Well, it certainly could be.
Yes, well, I suppose we just won't know. I mean, we have passed your challenges so far, so if this is one other test, I'm sure we will succeed at that as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, you first. I'll be right behind you as always.
Yes. Well, very well, Trickster. Me and Numi shall depart, and I will walk into the portal.
So okay, so now this is sort of like an opaque portal, right? You can't like see what's on the other side. And Sirhan walks through the portal, and from your perspective, Numinous, he just disappears into this opaque, blue, glowing oval.
Well, then I will take a deep breath and steel my shoulders and follow him through.
And don't forget to bring Billy.
Come on, Billy, let's go.
Will you lead Billy through the portal? And you both find yourselves back in your world. Now, so once you get back, I'm kind of curious. What would you like to do first? Like, how would you like to celebrate your great success?
Well, when you say back in our world, you mean like back in the village or like way outside of the magical forest entirely?
Like wherever you came from before you went into the magical forest.
Okay. Yeah, we were on the road, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next to
Looks familiar.
Yeah, we were on this road before.
So you've got that whip, and I suppose you could sell it for quite amount of money, or you could continue adventuring, and we could rack up some more money. I did have something I wanted to propose to you.
Oh?
Well, you see, I am a knight, and I thought it maybe you'd want to continue with me, and you could be my squire. How does that sound?
Squire. I like the sound of that. I could be a squire. But I'm not doing your laundry.
Well, we'll talk about that. Billy, would you like to be a squire as well? Come on, that was a quip. That was a quip.
Well, it's funny because I was going to make the same joke. I mean, in a different way, and suggest that when you're all traveling around, you're Sirhan with Billy and the Squire. So
right.
Yeah.
But I agree that I should get a lot more treasure piled up before I can find a place to call my own. We should continue our adventures together, Sirhan. You're handy.
Ha. Was that a quip? I don't know, but
It was accidental.
yes, I agree. We have much to teach each other, I think. And I didn't quite get to fight any evildoers and punish them, and that is kind of my thing. I was mostly fighting creatures and that sort of thing, so we have much to accomplish, and I think we will continue until maybe we'll find some more treasure along the way. Maybe the treasure was the friendship we made along the way.
That's the sweetest thing I've ever heard. I think we'll have many more quests together in the future.
Well, we very well may return to these characters in their home world at some series in the future, but for now we are going to have to say goodbye to them, sadly, because I'm afraid a few minutes earlier than I had anticipated, but this is the end of Quest.
Well, I like it. I like Quest. I think it's a good little game. It's one of my
Yeah.
one of my favorite new games I've come across in the last couple years, I think. It's really cute. I think Goonie found it, where, on Reddit? You heard somebody talking about it or whatever? And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say I was going to get into my god, Skylar. He's a Reddit moderator.
Okay.
Oh, really? That's funny. And like, what sub?
Maybe anti-work, which just had a big fiasco.
Yeah,
I guess.
there is no such sub anymore.
Well, yeah. Yeah. My god said he was some kind of incel or something. I don't know what that means.
So was Skylar wasn't the guy that did the
No, it was like,
okay, good.
Yeah, it was a I don't know the gender, but somebody named Doreen that fucked up royally, supposedly. But no, my god was not supposed to be him or anything. That just recently happened, so I thought it was funny. But my god, the whole idea was that maybe his god was some kind of GM, or maybe Sir Han is just completely insane, and here's this person, talking to him.
That's what I've been thinking this whole time.
Yeah, he might just be batshit crazy.
Well, every time you mentioned Skylar and your little phrases to activate stuff, I was just seeing Anna Gunn in Breaking Bad. So.
Oh, yeah.
Fedora. Don't forget the fedora.
Yes. I think we were all wearing fedoras, but we might have forgotten that.
Oh, well, the fedoras...
Or that was just for the museum?
Yeah, you just had to wear... Well, so they were hat bats, right? So if you tried to steal anything from the museum or anything, they would bite you. But yeah, as soon as you left the museum, you give them back to Fiona. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, that is it for Quest. Thank you for joining us, everybody.
We'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, if you like our podcast, don't forget to leave us a good rating and or review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, or wherever you're able. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at Goonies_world, and check out our website at GooniesWorldPodcast.com. Email us at GooniesWorldPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.